chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
Well, hello everyone. All those little problems I had getting started here, wow, just kept going and going like the little, I think I saw the little Energizer bunny go by. Hey, welcome aboard Flying with Mike. I haven't seen this girl in a while, the MD-11 freighter. However, I affectionately call it the Airbus 11. Not to upset those in the Boeing world too much. Oh, there it goes. But I am losing my keyboard. What's wrong? All right, I don't know why. There it goes. All right. The glitches keep rolling on. All right, folks, we're back with you, and now there's my laptop. To say now it's glitching. I'm like, wow, we're just having a glitchy day. All right. FedEx sits on the line. We are flying what I call the Airbus 11. You all like to call it the MD-11, but little do you know, more Airbuses in it than you ever dreamed of, especially in the cockpit. But it is, once you, folks, once you come to the realization you're in an Airbus cockpit, it's a piece of cake. Up until that point, it is confusing. Because you're expecting things to be where Boeing put it, but Boeing never built this plane. McDonnell Douglas built this plane prior to the buyout from Boeing. Oh, forgot about that part, didn't y'all? Just kidding. Hey, I hope y'all have a great Monday. And if you saw my post in Discord for this flight, you'll get a interesting kick out of what I'm about to say. Let me give you it all, just the highlight of it as soon as I find it. Did I get rid of it? Oh, there it is. I said, happy Monday, and then it's an at everyone, so everyone gets this post. Wait, is there ever a happy Monday? Another thing for us to ponder. Is there truly a happy Monday? Because I'll tell you right now, Monday where I worked was rough this morning. And it was only 2 hours, if you will, of a business kind of like day, even though I'm talking 5 o'clock in the morning or 5:30 to 7:30. Not the normal 8 to 5, 7 to whatever. It was just downright crazy and just unreal. So, like I said, is there really a happy Monday? Like I said, it's something for you all to ponder. But anyway, we're taking the Panda plane over from Paris, where we left off with the A320 Neo, and head over to Stanstead. And we're doing this for My friends over at Millennium Aviation. I'm just wondering, did I click enough times? Is it going to start? So I don't forget, because I love forgetting to start up the Acres program. Or is it too going to be like FedEx last week? Ah, there it is. Hang on a second. Let me log into it real quick. We got it pretty much ready to go. That's why I could do this. And pull that up. And we'll talk more here. Fly this flight, please. Just waiting. There we go. All right. So we are in with flying with Mac Air. Mac Air. What a great airline. Been with them, I'm betting every bit of 5, 6, maybe 7 years as well. I'm going to tell you right now, you know, I say it, I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend all the VAs I fly for. This one and FedEx more than, well, and some Air Force. I really enjoy flying for them. But the other two, the other two, I just tell you it's a good airline. But this one, I mean, folks, if you're in this trying to figure out what I want to fly today, where I want to fly it today, with what I want to fly it with today, folks, these folks here got it made for you. And I'm trying to get you a link here, and it is just being stubborn to all get out, which, you know what, that's how our normal day with a... Holy mackerel, is it being stubborn. Let me try this one more time. There we go. All right, so you're seeing it in the chat now, how to get a hold of Millennium Aviation. They have 4 divisions when you join. You come into the open division, and then you can stay just open and fly there to your heart's content. Or along with open, you could go to one of the other 3. Charters, which opens up anywhere you want to go with everything they have available to you. Cargo, I don't think I need to say much about what that says you can fly. And historical, I think that one's kind of implied as well. But it is kind of tricky what's a historical aircraft and what's not. But, you know, when you think about the 747-200, you could fly it cargo. I think there's still some in the open division. And, of course, historical. 727, same thing. So, but then when you start talking 707s, KC-90, not KC, oh, can't think of the beach name for it. I'm sorry, the Boeing name, 377, I think it was. Now you're talking historical. So you get the flavor. So if you just want to go in, fly like you do at any VA, stay in the open division. It's great. I enjoy getting a lot of flights from there and flying them for you here. So, again, Millennium Aviation. Check them out. They also have this thing called Destination of the Month, which is what we're flying here. As I can already hear them at Millennium Aviation go, yep, that's our destination. This month it's Stanstead. Last month we were actually in Libya. So check them out, folks. Right there, macairvirtual.com, and get you going on a pretty good virtual career with them. So, and one last side note for them, the president and man behind the curtain who runs the show, okay, next to the COO, gotta give him some credit. You might have heard of him, a few of you, if you're into YouTube and all of that. Captain Mac. Now you see where Mac Air comes in. Yep, got it. All right, if you haven't got it, get it. So, all right, so let's get going, shall we? Like I said, we pretty much got this thing all ready to go. Now, some quick little pointers on it, and we're going to just blast off out of here. So, first, when you come in, you know, do the normal things. Make sure you got chocks, make sure you got the external power, and make sure you put the stairs to it. If for anything else, it looks like it should with the door open and stairs. However, let's go there. So here's the rotate menu. It only shows, oddly enough, when the rotate aircraft's here. And no, it's not like a Ford truck where you flip over, read directions. You rotate and read directions. No, seriously. All right, I know they've never heard that one. So here you go. Here is the load manager, and when mine comes up, let me put it that way because you may know how to make it do something different. Mine comes up on this page. Pretty self-explanatory. Lets you set up some things like synchronizing the barometer, 833 megahertz channel spacing, meaning 3 numbers instead of 2 numbers. And if you want to set it up so it's in one of these. Then I come over to ground, make sure the chocks are set. On mine, it's always set. Put the ground power on. I think it's request is the word. And then I request the stairs. Now, if you've already planned your flight with SimBrief, press on, request. We're going to get into a couple of nuances here in a second with these. Then over here, obviously, you want to open your cockpit door. And you don't have to necessarily open the main cargo door. That's the one you all see prominently opened when they're sitting on the cargo ramps. Because when you hit load, if you choose one of the directions to go, a little animation happens and it'll do it for you. But you can open these guys here. And if you're at night and you've got your how you're set up in the cockpit wise, you can turn the lights on inside. My only complaint to rotate, if they were ever to listen to me, which I don't expect that, if you're gonna show the cargo going on the loader, going up, going into the plane, and wherever it ends up in the plane, which actually it is, as soon as it, here, let me just get rid of this for a second and do this. Okay, your main cargo door is right here. So as soon as it gets out of sight, it truly is out of sight. It disappears. There is no sign of a pallet loading in. So that's really one of my big gripes with it. But as you can tell, it's not a showstopper. It's just, if you're going to go to all of that expense, you know, as much as the words I'm about to use hurt many people's ears, Captain Sim, at least when you loaded theirs in FSX, which there's another word that hurt your ears, sorry, you had a loaded bay. It didn't just go in, disappear, go in, disappear, reemerge and come out, reemerge and come out. Yeah, it was actually loaded. So that would be one of my big, not big, one of my problems with the plane. But again, a showstopper? No. So, and then once you're done there, you know, you start the rest of the checklist. But let's go back here. And remember I told you about this. When you request this, oh crud, I just did it again. Okay, well, you get to see it loading. I meant to do it from the load manager. Here they come again. Dun, da, 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 da. See, there you go. You get to see all of the fun magic. And now you get to see what Captain Mike was talking about. Let me get it here. We'll do it this way, because I think you'll get a good view. See inside the cargo bay? Okay, here comes the next 2 cans. Cool. And that's pretty much how they load them, folks. That back thing would already be down loading those up. So, all right. So here they go in. And now we get to watch them go back. And they may run the length of the plane. Oh, wait, they stopped. Oh, they're going to actually stay. No, I'll prove my comments here in a second. Go on, get on the plane. Oh, we won't be able to see because the cargo door is about to close. And that's probably when they disappear. Okay, so everything looks like you would think you see it in the plane. Gonna wait for the cargo door to close. Latch. Plug in. Aircraft menu. Prove me wrong, please. They're gone. See? No sign of them in there. And if I go here and swivel, just so y'all, well, they're in the back. Oh, no, they're not. It's a pretty empty cargo bay, folks. Pretty much what I remember at my airport. So, yeah. So, you're right there seeing what I talk about. But again, developer's choice. They chose this. That's great. Hey, like I said, not show stopping this guy. So, anyway, let me close that back up. While I'm at it, I'll just go ahead and close all. Oh, I see why it stopped. Just gonna make sure everything closed. I know you're going, why don't you just take the menu down? Because it's easier to do it this way. All right, so load manager. All right, this is probably the most trickiest part of this plane, folks. If you all have flown the Flight Factor 767, you know there's a couple little quirks to it. And once you understand the quirks, piece of cake. Kind of the same thing here. But actually, it's in all of the documentation, everything telling you it doesn't matter what plane or anything that you fly. So when you put in your payload, what I do, okay, this is what Captain Mike here with Flying with Mike does. Okay, I'll put in the numbers from SimBrief. So in this case, ooh, good time for a segue to Sim Toolkit. All right, there's Sim Toolkit. Flight planning. Load. There's our flight for today, folks. Okay. SimBrief. All right, I've attached this. It doesn't come with Sim Toolkit. You have to go in with this little setting cog, do your magic, do the magic that it gives you. Same with NavGraph, but it does come with SkyVector. All right, so let's pull up the flight plan, view it. Here's our weights. Okay, it's actually, and make sure whatever the aircraft is empty, which you have to, I think, get that from the documentation. Make sure you make this number that. I have to double check some things. But you're going to end up loading your plane, hitting generate, voila, you get your flight plan. Right here is your estimated zero fuel weight. Okay, 425,987. Okay, so you're going to want this number right here to match that. Anyone noticed anything different yet? Hopefully it's not because of font sizes that you're not catching it. The payload, total payload, look at mine, 172,725 up here. Okay, well if you look at the one on Sim Toolkit, I'm sorry, Sim brief brought to you by Sim Toolkit. No, just kidding. Anyway, there's a huge disparity. 172,000 pounds, let's just put that in brackets, versus what SimBrief came up with at 163,810. Disparity probably between passengers, between a whole lot of things, but the payload here is supposed to be pretty close to this. Doesn't matter if it's people, dogs, cats, cows living together, mass hysteria back there, doesn't matter. However, just keep sliding that bar till you get close, and then do some arithmetic to get them to equal if you so desire. That's one quirk. And again, that's between whatever the empty weight is of rotate versus this empty weight in SimBrief. So really, it's nobody's fault other than one doesn't talk with the other so that things kind of mesh up. That's kind of on the user. That loose nut behind the wheel. Now, the other big quirk is this payload CG. And I can already, how am I supposed to figure that out? And why is mine wrong? Oh, because you're supposed, well, actually it is wrong. We're not going to change it. But anyway, you want to bring it up when you're loading to, oh, there it is. You want to bring this slider so that your takeoff CG, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. Bring your slider to a takeoff CG between 30 and 31%. I'm pretty sure that's not what the real world does, but it's what the rotate world would like us to do, and unfortunately, that's what we have to do. No big deal, but that's one of those. Otherwise, you can watch the tail go down. The other stuff here is self-explanatory, found right off SimBrief. There's your block fuel, there's your burn or trip fuel right here, and then if you just dig right here in the LATO, you'll find it. Whoops, I went past it already. There it is. Taxi fuel 2000 right there. And folks, you can type the numbers in. Just click on the line, type, enter, boom, they go in. Okay. Alrighty, so there you've had a little bit of an introduction to this plane. Once you get in, you're just going to basically, there is a tutorial flight, folks. I highly recommend everyone fly it at least once or twice or 3 or 4 times, and fly it again 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, except using destinations you choose. So departure, arrival points you choose, using the basics you learn out of the tutorial. And by then you're done and you know this plane. All right, so let's quickly, while we have Sim Toolkit in front of us, all right, so let's brief it out real quick. Weather kind of looks crappy on there, doesn't it, folks? I mean, let's just get real down and real. I mean, rain, go away. Come again another day, I believe is how the song goes. ATIS here, although is what it is. We're landing. Oh, this is the ATIS, so they're landing 26 left, 27 right. Basically, the outer runways they're using for landings. The 2 inner runways are your takeoffs. Why? Because they love you. No, 13,000 foot runways usually. And so there you go, and expect the ILS and all of that. That's your ATIS. Seeing if they got anything about wet runways. No, they do not. Weather here in Paris. Winds out of the west, 6. Visibility above 10 kilometers and a few clouds at 1,000. That is not a ceiling, folks. Some of you think it is, but Iowa Scotsman, welcome aboard, sir. Hope you're having a great day. This is not a ceiling. Ceiling is denoted at overcast or broken. Even scattered is not considered a ceiling to prevent VFR traffic from flying, or to be factored into minimums. So say, for instance, it was view clouds at 100,001. Okay, it's still, and say your overcast is 1,500. You're still totally legal Cat 1, so long as that, is on the paperwork. All right, another thing to be cautious of is right here, especially in the real world, folks. A 1 degree separation. Now we have wind, so that's why it's not overly concerned here. If that was 3 knots, 2 knots, maybe 1, start looking for fog included with the clouds. So visibilities could start dropping even more. We hate that at where I work. Anyway, and there's your altimeter. Any better across the channel? Let's find out. All right, south wind, 3 knots. Variable from 160 to 250. And again, at least 10 kilometers or more. No ceiling. So I can tell you right now, every instrument approach out there will be able to fly. Now, we may even be able to fly visual, depending if we actually see it or not, being it's sometimes hard to find in the sims. But again, we're back into that 3 degree spread. We're just on the edge, so fog may not get as thick. It's when it gets within a 2 or 1 degrees of each other, that's when you want to be cognizant you may get fog. And lastly, let's bring in the charts program, and let's load it up here real quick. Oh, we got to unload a flight I did. Oh, it's already in here. Oh, that's right. I loaded it up on the standalone already. All right. So we're going to come out of Charles de Gaulle. Here's our departure. We'll take a look at it here in a second. We're going to fly it up here to OPALE, cross the channel, pick up the arrival of BANVA 1 Lima from BANVA. Go figure that one, and fly it in. Kind of an interesting little loop-de-loop here. And then on to the ILS for 2-2. Pretty simple flight, folks. 1 hour tops, and we'll have some fun. All right, so great program. Let me pop it back over. Okay, we're back into Paris area. Let's check the weather out. That's right, folks, you can overlay. Ooh, look at all of that icky pink stuff. That's cloud cover. Disregard. Phew. We never want to see pink. There we go. Now you got the same coverage as you saw on Sim Toolkit. So most of the rain out of the Paris area, be along our trip along the north and as we start into the UK. But overall, not a bad day for flying. And that's a neat feature they've added here, folks, in the last couple of months. Great. This is a standalone program, folks, or incorporate it to your Sim Toolkit. Make Sim Toolkit more of a one-stop shop. So, I can't recommend it enough. It is payware, so I know people's wallets are tight right now, but I highly recommend having it, especially if you're not flying just in the U.S. If you're flying just in the U.S., you have no care of flying to Toronto, Mexico City, Vancouver, Winnipeg. I'm getting to border towns, folks. Yes, I know there's some great airports inland. Then you won't have to worry about it. But if you want to go to those airports or fly over here in Europe, you'll have all the charts here. If you go with SkyVector, you're only going to get the US, and that's it. So, it's your call. I get it, but I highly recommend this. And as you can see, right now, all the rain's out of Stanstead too. So actually, I thought I saw one METAR where it was clear. So we'll kind of see how that progresses. All right, we'll pull that all away, and we'll be back to this in a moment. All right, folks, what do you say? We light up this candle and see what we can do. All right, engine start. So basically, once you got all the basics done, come in here. Your battery switch is here for those going. But if you kind of look over this thing, you're starting to see there is a lot of an Airbus look to it. I'll give you guys a lot of your Mad Dog rotate MD-80 fans. You're seeing a lot of that in there. Well, that would make sense since McDonnell Douglas did kind of build the plane. But you can also see a huge Airbus flavor to it. Like I said, this is actually real easy to navigate once you, okay, granted in an Airbus, this would be up here, right up here. This would be down one, blah, blah, you know. But hey, it's actually pretty easy to flow. Again, the famous, if it's dark, it's good. Unless it's one of those switches where you have to turn it on. Okay, so you're looking at the pre-start. Here's where it really rings Airbus. Third problem, and it's a lot of aircraft, but one thing I love is when a developer can turn at a minimum these two into pop-out panels for you, so you can just click on them and they're bigger. Same with these, your nav displays and your FMCs or McDoos. Just on a simmer makes it easier. And I'm going, I fly real. Really? You're flying in your pajamas? Real? You know, that's not an approved uniform for the airlines. Just so you know. And that beer next to you, that's 8 hours bottle to throttle last I checked. Anyway, so you're real, I know, still tempered your way. So that's just something that makes it easier for some of us. If you want to be real, you don't have to click on them. But anyway, we just have to do it this way. But what do I mean? Look at the layout right here, folks. Screams Airbus, doesn't it? Hence, Airbus 11, my little affectionate name for it. You go in, you got your F plan. If you know how to set up a McDo, you can set this up, folks. You got your F plan, your progress page. Now, granted, that would be RadNav in Airbus language. It's in the wrong place. Your perf page, your takeoff page, which is where we were, this is another, I think A300s may have it, but I could be wrong. I don't have it. And I've only been in the cockpit once at an air show. So y'all know how real in depth you can get a look at a panel without a camera. But today's flight, folks, will be V1 141 rotating at 157 and V2 166. So 13,000 feet of runway. I think Top Cat put us at a margin of 40, just under 4,700 feet. So we're going to eat up some runway, and this does simulate that quite well, I must say. All right, so I'm just double checking a couple of things here. Well, I got to do that first. Yeah, yeah. And I am going to admit right now to you all, we are not going to fly online. I'm still very rustic with this plane, so I respect that, you know, we've had comm issues before. Until I make sure I've got everything worked out, I'd rather stick to the flying part, okay, and learn that part, then begin integrating in ATC. And I actually recommend that to all of you all. Make sure you can fly your plane when it hiccups at you when you put a star in and it goes somewhere you don't expect. You know how to respond. It's kind of like those real world pilots that pull up that book that says QRC or QRH, or, you know, quick reference handbook chart, you know, checklists. They all have them, and they can start running down them. Most of them, a lot of them, they have in their mind, but they're going to still look at it to make sure they didn't miss something. I don't have that, so we will continue to learn this plane. Our focus will not be this week with the Queen. We will not be able to put a flight with it up in the air as of right now, but she will return next week. All right, so for engine start, I want to first double check with Millennium Aviation. I want credit for this flight. I have given up quite a few, and we're boarding. Okay, good. And there are some quirks with, for me at least, Smart Cars 3. It's the new iteration of that. There's some quirks with me that I'm just trying to work through. And they know that at Millennium, so. And I've got to get a hold of TFDI on one of the questions. All right, but that's not for here. Let's go fly with Mike. How about that? All right, let's get out here first, get a real quick look. Since we had that screen in the way, here's Paris. Well, the weather is brightening up here. The only thing that kind of saddens me sometimes with X-Plane, I don't see the Eiffel Tower. But I'm going to be honest, never been to Paris, so I don't even know where the Eiffel Tower would be in reference to the plane. So I may be looking in a totally wrong direction. It could be right behind me. So, but that's my only, you know, while they have a lot of really built up cities and stuff like that, it's those little things I miss a little. All right, so there's the FedEx complex, Air France technical side. Behind me is more FedEx right here. But more interestingly, in here, which they've put planes, is actually de-ice pits, where trucks come in on the side and hit them real quick before they hit the runways for 9. Oh, and conversely, they're down on the other end. So, and it's really cool. I love how some airports, which obviously need to de-ice, how they accomplish it in a more rapid fire setup than what we do at Mid-America. Matter of fact, I think at Mid-America, the Turtle still wins that race over ATS de-icing an airplane because it seems to take longer than the flight for them to de-ice. And if ATS is listening, sorry, it does look really slow. All right, so to start them up, let's get better pushback in here. We got to be careful with this. A couple times it's really pushed us kind of funny.
Want to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
I want to go home. But I don't think that's in the cards with the pushback guy. And with better pushback, as you can see, folks, I can set it to do some pretty fancy pushing back. So that you can, you know, you get to some of those airports where they'll push back to a hold point number and then get going. So, All right, as always, let's come up here to the overhead, beacon on, and all right, seatbelt signs technically not needed. Emergency lights on, smokes on, ding, ding. Okay, and doors. Oh, we need to close some doors.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Cleared to connect. All right, and I'm going to close this out for a second. I want to see, did I did deselect. Okay. Now you do have a built-in pushback. It's not going to be as fancy as what I set up. Probably shouldn't have. That could be what'll screw it up, and if so, we'll try to get it stopped as soon as possible.
Now connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, real quick familiarity. Parking brakes where you would expect it, right here. Your spoilers. A lot of people have asked a lot of questions. How in the world did you arm your spoilers? It took me about 3 flights to figure it out, folks. It's not easy. The other complicating area, auto flight. I have a lot of problems there. And then we'll have fun with it. Don't worry, folks. But we'll preview it. Dial a flap. Just right. You're going to call 1-800 dial a flap. No, just kidding. Yeah. That one I still shake my head at. Oh, McDonnell Douglas, what were you thinking? Why couldn't you just put standard settings in there? And here's the dial a flap settings. Like I said, more on that coming up. All right. All right, so we want to make sure, get the aux pump. Where are we at? I've lost my aux pump 1. On. And transponder, transponding. Now, one other big thing for those of you wanting to go on VATSIM. Again, we will not today. Make sure that your microphone is on whichever nav you want to, or comm you want to use, and that you've pulled, make sure you all are seeing this, your appropriate comm buttons. Let me kind of zoom in. All right, so just because you've got the radios turned on up here, you've got to make sure you click and get the word mic. If for anything else, to drop the mic. But anyway, and get your VHF going. Pull the thing up. Simply click it and pull. Here, I'll show you what I mean. See how you got the finger on it? You pull it up. And no, it's not that finger. And that will get you, here, I'll bring up real quick. I do have XPilot up, but we're just not connecting today. So when you look at XPilot, see if this works. Up here where you see COM 1, COM 2, over next to the, in my case, 122.800 VATSIM's Unicom, you'll see a bold TX, and a next to 121.5, how it's not highlighted. You want the highlighted TX RX. That will ensure 2 things. You'll be able to talk to VATSIM, receive in your ears, however you're set up on your XPilot, and plugin to receive from VATSIM. If you do not have these two set up, guess what? They may talk to you and you won't hear them, or you'll talk to them but you won't hear them. So, and then that means you're on text. So that's with a lot of aircraft, folks. And it's not just X-Pilot, folks. It's also the one they use in the other sim. Always make sure you're this. Otherwise, you're going to have a lengthy conversation with VATSIM controllers. Well, I need you on Mode C. I just can't live my life without you being on Mode C. Even though we all know once the wheels go up, boink, automatically goes to Mode C if most of you go default with it. All right, but again, we will not be on VATSIM today. Sorry to disappoint, but this plane sometimes makes me very nervous, and the heavy traffic that's going to be over in the London area, I don't want to be stumbling around. If I was in the Airbus, guaranteed I'd be in it. If I was in the 747, there's a good chance I'd do it. From here to there, probably not a 747, but... All right, so continuing on. So we got our transponder expounding. Engines. We need to get the igniters set. You all know this is the left-right switch in most Boeings. Airbus, you really don't have this. So what you do is come up here. That all is right in here. It's this or this. My standard way of doing things, even days, I go to the right side. Odd days, I go to the left side. Real world might do pilot flying, whichever one's flying, whatever side he's on, doink. So if he's the first in the left seat, he might get the A, right seat, get the B. It's whatever you want. We're going with B today. All right. And you can see things flickered to get into place for it. All right, engines. Let's come down here and make sure we got engines on the panel. We do, right here. This is all for your engines. Both on this screen and this screen. So, APU is on. Push back. Here we go. Now, I set a key up for this, folks, but it just won't do it. So I just simply go over and go click.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, and to start engines, folks, you know how to start a Boeing. It's even easier. Well, kind of almost easier here. It's a little more, I'll say more Boeing-esque. I'll give Boeing a little bit here. All right, so starting order will be engine number 3, which is out on the right wing, engine 1 on the left wing, then that tube on top of in the tail. So engine 3, 1, 2. Here we go, and we're back out of the brake. So here we go, engine number 3. Again, get the up arrow, you want the light on, and then you just kind of watch. And at about 15 or so, bring her on. As you saw, I waited to 17. And then you're going to wait for it to stabilize. Unfortunately, it's not like the Queen of the Skies from Fearless. It's not going to tell you. And again, welcome aboard Flying with Mike, service from Paris to London's Stanstead Airport. And again, my apologies, we will not be on VATSIM today. Okay. We go ahead and start up number 1. That is going to be up here. Sorry, over here. We're looking for N2. And we have a light off. Next up will be number 2 in the middle. Again, make sure you have the up arrow showing on the cursor, and then we'll start watching when it lights up N2's value. Just to give you an idea, for me, it's enough time to slurp a quick swig of coffee. And the FAA was not listening to that. Okay, she should be getting done here. Alright, with the engine started, I'm going to give it a little longer to finally catch up. So, after start checklist before take taxi. Alright, let's go up here top. Okay. First item's window defrost, that's right here. Anti-ice, are we going to need it? Are we not? We said no, so we'll keep it dark, off. You would turn it on, there you go. Air panel automatically does it like Airbus. Everything's automatic. Your gens come on, your hydraulics come on, your air comes on. Now if you're MEL'd in the aircraft and it says this is out or that, then you may have to manually do things. But for our case, we don't have any MELs. How about that? Gear, equipment, and pens. We're going to make sure here, if we get him to stop pulling us, it's time to tell him to stop.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Thank you.
Disconnecting tow. Standby.
Alright, so what we're doing is we're waiting on the ground equipment to clear and the pins. Pins will be over here. Yeah, he pulled us a pretty good distance down. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. So that's why you may want to use the one that comes with it, or don't get so fancy. I mean, I've had this plane going around and almost doing circles with them. So, better push back and rotate. Sometimes play well together, and other times they don't. So, while we're waiting on him, cabin report. Well, the cabin says cargo secure. Takeoff data. Time to confirm. Now, how you confirm in this plane? I want you to look up here. You're going to see purple. Okay, that means they're going to match 141, 157, 167. You don't believe me?
Tow disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time
rotate.
and have a safe flight.
And thanks for flying with Mike there. Better pushback. Ease off the Irish coffee. Anyway, 141, 157's where we plan to raise the nose. 166 clearing a 50-foot obstacle. Okay, everything looks good. If it was different, then you've got to change things to make it right. Let's see, flaps. We talked about this. Time to have fun. Would someone call dial a flap, please? All right, today we are going flaps 10. So how do we do that? You're seeing it. You dial the flap setting. You will get on your paperwork in the real world. Now, SimBrief is not set up for this. Missed it. Doggone it. Anyway, we would have seen the pins, and I would have given them the lights. All right. On your piece of paper, it'll say, it might just say flaps 15, or flaps 17, or flaps 17.5. Yeah, you heard it. Dial a flap, and then set your flap. That's why I said, why couldn't they just come out with flaps 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40? Come on, y'all know the Schoolhouse Rock. Come on. Okay, maybe in Europe you don't. But anyway, so to me, I find light comedy in that that we actually built a plane. You literally dial a wheel to tell it what flap level to be at. I believe I just hit that level. Okay, good. It didn't happen. Huh. I know, it's revenge. You making fun of me, so I made you hit the wrong one. Alright, so now we're at the dial a flap setting. Your dial a flap would be somewhere between here, between 10 and 28, and then of course 35 is the majority of the time full flaps, or the most you usually deploy for landing. I don't know what kind of airfields would require a 50. Okay, so there's the dial a flap I've been having so much fun with. Spoilers to the armed position. All right, you see the arrows here, folks? That is going to move the speed lever down the rail here, okay? To physically raise it, you have to have the hand click, pull, armed. Welcome to Airbus again. But one thing missing that's on the A319, 20, and 21s is that little white line to tell you it's armed. All right, flight controls. Okay, you can come down here and actually, right here in the middle, go to, I think it's config. Yeah, config. And then we're going to exercise each of the surfaces, starting with a right turn, left turn. Now you saw how that wheel snapped? That's really why I like doing it. Your yoke or stick may not do that. Mine does. And when you're on final approach and it goes whoop, your airplane goes whoop, and you're like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Is it a go around? Nope, I'm back online. Okay. But you get my, you don't like seeing that on approach. Did you watch? Got all your green, you see your tabs. Okay, let's do the rudder. Elevator. Again, you're getting those green tabs. Okay, now the other big thing here you're going to do is come down here, looking on here, you see your flex, your packs off, flap, stape trim. You all know this, Airbus guys, you know it's there. Boeing guys, about the same spot. So we see stape trim 3.9. How do we load that in on this page? Oh, you can. It's right here. It's at 3.0 to start with. Take it right up to 3.9. There you go. And folks, you are set up. Now, if you come back down here, deselect, I think, is all you got to do. You can play with these and see what all they show you. The only one I find not working is this one. The nav display, putting it on a third screen. Why would you? It's there. Come on, Muffy. All right, auto brakes. Let's put those into reject takeoff. Right here, it goes strictly to TO. And exterior lights, taxi logo lights, we're ready to go. Let's do the quick run here. Takeoff data checked, auto flight turned on, EAD, make sure there's nothing missing here. We're going to right now kill the APU. Just going to go up here and click stop. And now you see it's available. It'll eventually shut down. And even if it runs, it's not going to hurt. Ooh, where are we on hydraulics? Oh, because I clicked hydraulics. I meant to click engine. All right, and then again, we're back to where we were for startup. Okay, exterior lights, hydraulic panels set, air panel set, cabins ready, radar, transponder, Terra. Radar, really? I'm not even sure if it's really available. And obviously, now we're on for if we were running VATSIM. And now let's turn off the parking brake and do some taxi work. And you can notice the switches are very, again, Airbus-like in their look. So really, there was no ill intent when I call this an Airbus 11. But you get now the reasoning behind it. All right. All right, folks, so it took us about an hour to get this girl rolling, even though we were prepped and ready to go, but, you know, explaining a few things and all does take time, so. And it's really more time than what it's going to take to fly the channel. We are literally that close. All right, folks, we got a long taxi ahead of us. So we're not going to execute a lot of the before takeoff checks. So now would be a good time if you're wanting to get a soda, beverage of choice, snack, because folks, it's going to take us, here, I'll give you an idea so you can plan your next moves. We're here. We got to get all the way down to Q6 and up, 13,000. Folks, that's 2 miles. So we got a little bit of a taxi at 20 miles an hour. So feel free to chat away. Love to see who we have, where you're from, and love to chat with you. Okay, it looks like I think the AP air is still on. Okay, hang on. Delve into that. Okay. And you guessed it, FedEx and UPS really, really benefited from them. They were the workhorses for quite a while. Now they are being put to pasture with the 777s, the 75s, and the 767s. The whole fleet's turning over again. So the MD-10s and DC-10s already gone. All the MD-10 was a modified DC-10 to two-man cockpit versus 3, and a few other things. Don't get me wrong. But again, feel free to chat away. I don't think I'm going to have time for that, Hawker. But thanks, man. Yeah, I don't think we're going to run in where we have that much time airborne. 21-minute video is we're basically going to climb up and descend right down, folks, from 26,000. So yeah, good choice though. It's just too short of a flight. So, but we will fulfill the requirement there at Millennium Aviation. And folks, I really do highly recommend them. I mentioned the 4 divisions they have. Well, they also have a pro division, and where you could work through with check pilots your virtual licensing, if you will. And they do group flights. It's just I really love it, and the restrictions on you are very, very few. I mean, let's say, for instance, take this flight. Technically, in the schedule, under cargo, it's a 767 flight. Well, I was kind of shocked, because probably would have been an MD-11 more than likely. But it is what it is. But you'll be fine. It's a good substitution. But let's say you want to fly the same route, and you can't find in the open division, and you're not part of charter, so I'm eliminating that. You want to fly, say, all it says is you can fly the 737, okay? And it doesn't mean if it says Ryan or whatever, you don't have to fly those airlines. You can fly whatever livery you have. But let's say you don't want to fly a 737. You're rebelling. I want to be an Airbus driver today. I want to fly the Tollus A320neo. Perfectly legal. They have a substitutionary chart of aircraft. That would allow for you to take any single aisle aircraft. And that would technically, folks, think about it. I'm probably going to get hate mail on this from Mac Air. The 757. Now, if you were to fly the 67, guess what? It's not a single aisle aircraft. So you got to kind of know your aircraft to know that. Likewise, say you just bought that new aircraft. Let's say it's the RJ900, CRJ900s. I know a lot of you love that plane, like it, or the 700. Take your pick. I don't know what's out there, to be totally honest. And you wouldn't be able to fly it on that route, but I'll bet there is a RJ out there, you know, be it lawn darts, the Embraer 145s, the CRJs, the Embraer 175s. They're all legal then, folks. So, like I said, it's very, very open towards the pilot. So they're not going to sit there going, oh, did you not fly the specific tail number and livery for this airplane? Oh my gosh, reject. No, they're not going to sit there doing that. I do know some airlines that do that. So always buyer beware. Always read the fine print. Get in there, learn what they're like and all of that. Talk to maybe a pilot or two. But I'm telling you, Millennium is really, I'm not going to say laid back. They have their, they do step in from time to time, landing rates and all. So don't get outrageously thinking, let's see how hard I can smash this MD-11 without busting off the landing gear. Most simulators, you won't break the landing gear off. But anyway, that they might reject. But other than that, folks, it's really laid back. So, if you get a chance, check them out. Jarhead0514. How many active members? I don't know if I'll be able to get active, but I can tell you. Let me take a look at the website. So I am not a hub manager or whatever kind of managers they call them there. I am just, as I like to call it, a pilot. Okay, they are showing, I think 56. Of course, they'll probably yell at me, where did you get that number from? Went to the site. Hang on a second. I got a turn off coming. I think we're going to cut the taxi short. Is that a displaced threshold or not? I can't remember. It is. So we're going to go to we'll go to Q6. Why don't we use it all? But looking at it there, Jarhead, I'm going to say 56 and there's at least 55, 56. I saw what could be. Oh no, they're all active. Disregard. Yes. All 56. Pretty good group. And they do have time to time fly on the heck was I? There it was. Oh, what the heck is that utility? Where they can fly multiplayer. And it doesn't matter if you're on Microsoft or you're on X-Plane, you can join it. No, I've got it handy here somewhere. Well, anyway, they do have group flights and they have instructions how to join it. So it's a great airline. Now, I also do actually fly for a FedEx airline, FedEx Express Virtual, and they're another one I highly recommend. But I'm not really talking about them today because we are flying for not a competitor, but for another VA, and it would be kind of wrong, I would say, of me to do that. Don't want to disrespect anyone. I've run 3 virtual airlines myself, so I get it. Would it hurt my feelings? No, but I don't want to, project that out here. But Jarhead, welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy this short hop across the channel to London. Not to the main airport, but one of those outlying ones. This one's called Stanstead and is kind of like a hub for FedEx, while Paris is their primary. I don't know if they call it their primary anymore because they got Luxembourg now. No, I'm sorry, wrong. Scratch that. Heck is it called in Belgium? But they have a hub over in Belgium also. So trying to think of the name of the airport off the top of my head. I can't see it. Liege is the airport. TNT is based there. All right, folks, here we go. Let's do our quick before takeoff checks one more time to make sure we're ready to go. Takeoff data is checked and verified. Check data. Okay. All good. Clicking auto flight for the first time. We'll have to click it again to get on course. I've kind of figured that one out. I don't understand. A couple things on here I just don't understand. Then again, every airplane we have that. Okay, let's get those lights on. Strobes are there. We're just going to line up on the runway and hold since it's such a busy airport, folks. And since I think I was remiss in mentioning it, our alternate, should it become necessary, Manchester. Echo. Sure, I'd sure do, Jarhead. Stand by, I'll get you that link again. Oops, helps if I do this right. Okay. Well, we put it up there for everyone else. Glad you were able to find it. All right. Where was I at? Autoflight EAD's good. What's going on now? Hang on. Okay. See, OBS is stressing on this flight too. Oh, is it gonna be a good flight or what? Exterior lights, that's what we were working on. Okay, we got the beacons. Make sure I'm going the right way. Down. Okay, spoilers are set, cabin's ready, radar transponder set, we're ready to go. Once we're airborne, we'll get the gear up. 4 lights, remember that folks, 4 lights. Air panel auto, spoiler handle will disarm, auto brakes will turn off. Ready? Let's go fly with Mike. At some point, it's supposed to catch and take it. There she goes. V1, rotating. And yes, folks, she climbs very steeply. Gear up. Real quick. See if I got it right. Should have a turn coming up here real quick. Oh, let's get some flaps moving. again, push it down. You're set to go. Oh. I knew there was some button I knew I was missing. All right, let's do this again to get a better... How about we go direct BOV? Only thing I think I've always complained about, I don't know if we're in or not. Alright, we're Route 10,000, lights on. And I don't like the dirty windshield. It just, in some conditions, it makes it hard. All right, and a double check here. Cool, we're in the climb. Cool. All right, always want to check. Just, I've had some problems, and always like to make sure right now we're doing things properly. So, all right, we're climbing through. And there you have it, folks. We are airborne. Now, there is no off position for the landing gear after takeoff. Okay, air panel, spoiler handles down, brakes off, flap slats. Let's make sure. So every now and then I get caught with it in like flaps of one. Hydraulic panel's good, fuel panel's good, EAD checking. Nothing to report. Seatbelts are set to auto. We'll go to auto. And exterior lights are off. Altimeters we can. I think that made it stand. Yeah. And there we go, folks. Again, like everything when you're in a new airplane, folks, that takeoff is always kind of challenging to make sure you're on track. Oh, sorry for the sniffle there. Wait a minute, what happened? There we go. All right. Next up will be descent. Actually, we'll be calculating our auto brakes for landing, which will always be fun. But I hope you all had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed all Hollow Weekend. For those of you into the Halloween deal, Halloween, of course, is tomorrow. I will not be able to stream tomorrow. We are going to help my daughter with a little bit of the moving and Halloween stuff with the granddaughter. So unfortunately, we will not be able to stream tomorrow. Next planned stream, and then after that I work a 48-hour shift at work, and then we'll be back up and running Friday. I have a plan, but that plan is subject to change. So bear with me on that. That may be an aircraft route complete change than what you see up there. So, and if you're curious where I mean up there, if you're on Twitch, right below the screen there, you're going to see About. Or click the About and then look for our flight schedule, or click Schedules. Either way, it'll give you that what days we are going to fly. I may not fly that aircraft. I may choose a total different route and go with it. Make sure we level off here at 26. I don't know if we're in altitude select or not. I would say, folks, that's a negative. All right, let me get to our arrival. Get us to level off at least. There we go. And that was the other thing that I've had troubles with this plane, is it will porpoise. Sometimes as much as 1,000 feet, which does annoy the you-know-what out of ATC. So be mindful of that. All right, so we're punching in some clouds here as we cross OPALE. Okay, good. Here is our short period of time in cruise, folks. And that's why I said, Hawker, we are talking maybe 5-10 minutes tops, and then we start back down. Oh my gosh, we're hyperspace. Chewie, what did you do? It's a much better effect at night. Go ahead and increase our range a little bit. So, they're projecting top of descent here, basically for this arrival. Let's bring it up real quick so those of you who were not here for the beginning. What am I using to not make the rain look like Star Wars? Oh, it does actually look like Star Wars. It may not on your screen because one, this one dirties up real quick, and two, we don't have any real light on it yet. I have no idea what would get away from that effect. Other than maybe this. Oh, wrong one. How about that? That'll do it. Really, just changing the view. I mean, at night, that is just the most, oh my gosh, annoying effect. I don't, you know, again, I've never been up in the cockpit to see what it really looks like when they are in rain. And now, the way the glare is, oh my gosh, we're doing a hard right-hand turn, Chewie. But we should be through this. And again, the bad thing is this weather radar really, hang on a second, let me punch down here. The heck, I haven't ever turned it on. Let's see if it actually shows anything. I'm laying odds it won't. All right, but I was meaning to. Yeah, I mean, in the Cessna Caravan when I fly, oh my gosh, is it so annoying. And the only thing you can do to kind of turn it down is turn off the strobes. Here it's just hope it stops raining or precipitating. All right, so charts. Now this is the standalone version from NavGraph, just like what you saw when we showed it in the Sim Toolkit. Just took this program and made the link go there. Alright, so here's what we got left. BANVA. The arrival looks... I really hate when it does that. Okay, so our ATIS frequencies are here. Airport is 348 feet. Here's our RNAV approach. Okay, and again, let me back it out a little. By May, Mayfield, sorry, VOR, 17.9. That's how we'll identify it. We need to be at 20,000 feet. Continuing our descent so that as we fly from May to Aviation to Brookman's Parkway, sorry, to Busta, loop back around to Laurel. We got to be at 7,220 knots. Okay, at that point, this part we really haven't shown off much. It took me a while to find it. From Laurel, doesn't seem right. Did it say that? It said 7,000. 6,000. Start our descent real quick to 6,000 because we're going to come across Parkway again. Head up here to D10. Swing around at 11 to D6.6. 2,500 feet and on the ILS. Which looks like this. There's your frequencies. Okay, we're going to make sure 110.5 gets put in. Heading 222. At 6.6, if you remember, that's where we are supposed to roll out on the localizer now, 2,500 feet. Yeah, try that in the U.S. That doesn't happen often. ILS, decision altitude and height. Bold is your decision altitude, 548. MSL. The brackets are AGL, above ground, 200. Difference being above sea level, one number, one's above ground, all same spot in the air. Missed approach procedure. Again, 2,500 descending down. If the glide slope was out, this is what we work with. And this chart's going to tell us about an 800 foot a minute descent. I don't know off the top of my head. And we're looking for 550 minimum meters, 200 on the ceiling. So anything below those numbers, guess what? We then do the category 2, 3, which you can see now lowers things down drastically. And usually you're going to be shooting those on auto land, or all the way down auto land. All right, like I said, that was a real quick down and dirty look. Let's get in the airplane here and start setting it up. I'm gonna get me some numbers real quick. Coming into 2, quick update. All right, so V approach 160, 156 for the numbers. Okay. Checked landing data. Let's go here. TO approach. And I don't think we have to enter anything in here. Is it 10,003? That is correct, 348. And looking at this, if we're at flaps 35, it's 161, 156. If we go flaps 28, 159. So slats, clean, all your speeds here. So we're set for descent. All we gotta do find it good. There we go. Coming down to 20. And we showing a descent. Again, A is where we want to be at 20,000. Then we continue for 7. Welcome again to Flying with Mike, folks. With your new, smash that follow button. Love to see you on our next flight, which will be Friday. If you're happening to watch this on YouTube in the replay, as we, or not replay, but as we fly it, we'll upload it so you'll get it in like a replay. If you, by the way, miss anything on Twitch, it'll be over at YouTube most of the time. You know, give us a thumb up and subscribe. We'd love, again, for you to know when videos release over there. Occasionally, and I don't probably do it enough, we'll put a video out just for YouTube. So those of you who are in our Discord channel know when that happens. They can go watch it as well if they so choose. And folks, you are more than welcome to join us on Discord. The invites pop through here a couple times. I'm going to put one up here just to be safe. So join us over there. Love to chat with you, especially when I'm on that 48-hour shift. It's always nice to go in and at least text. If not, if need be, I can come up on voice on my phone. right, we are coming up on 20,000 feet. Looks like we're going to make it right to May. I'll get us leveled off, and then we'll do it again. And if you have any plans, folks, for tomorrow night, Halloween, if you're in one of those areas that celebrate that, be safe. Keep it safe for the trick-or-treaters, and be watching for them if you drive. They're little. It may not be lit up to where you can see them well, especially if it's at night. So be watching for them. Okay, we're about to set up for the next altitude drop, which will be to 7,000. Didn't have a speed restriction, did we? No. Where is our... Okay, max speeds start coming in at Brookman's and Parkway. Parkway. And now it's just the basics of monitoring the descent, watching that your speeds don't get way up here, because you know we're going to be soon going to 250. If not before 10,000, at 10,000. As we're on the outskirts of London right now. Boy, the weather cleared up kind of nicely here real quick. They knew I was headed in, so I don't have any excuses. It was the weather's fault. And speaking of which, a good time if you're into those things. You could do a prediction. Wait a minute, it would help. Yeah, I got it right. Go for it. Just like you see me there, exclamation mark, the word predict, a space, and a negative number. See how close you can get. I'm going to go ahead and decrease the range here. Again, we don't have traffic, so I'm not worried about it. If we were on VATSIM, a quick glance over, quick update. Oh my, real ugly. Oh, center came down, but part of center came down, but Stanstead approach and what have you. Let's make sure no big drastic changes. Runway 22 and what's transition at 7,500 feet. Okay, that's something you got to check with a lot when you fly Europe, folks. Are you serious? We're gonna hit 7,000 that quick? Certainly are. See if that bounces us off a little. Really thinking it won't. No, it might. I'm gonna pull back even. YouTube channel just popped up. That's what I mentioned. If you miss anything here or you want to see past episodes, love for you to go look at them. Got somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 300 videos up there. All right, now we're slowing. You can see the arm here, the bar going down. I think we're slowing to 245. Yeah, 245 where the dot is. And we're going to come up here. Okay, everything looks good on the upper panel. And the panel above us. All right, APU definitely went off, and windshield anti-ice set, descent limit set, approach. All right, let's get our decision altitude set up. Okay, right now radar altitude, which is what you use to determine what you're above the ground, is set for 200. Now, if you want to go to Barrow, you would simply switch this. No, not this one, my bad. This one. And it'll switch it between. Oh, I'm not on the right one, sorry. To Barrow, and then set your Barrow, and it'll say Barrow. All right, looks like we're gonna stay at 7,000 across. Oh, we're in the rain. How about that? How about we do this so you all have an idea what's coming? There's the weather at Stanstead as of 1820Z. Looks like about 30 minutes ago. But again, hope you all are having a great time, enjoying. Love to hear you in the chat more. And chat amongst yourselves too, folks. It's open for you all. Follow and subscribe. Following on Twitch, subscribing on YouTube, and YouTubers, if you'd like to be a part of Flying with Mike live here on Twitch, well, down where I told you to go, click the down in the comments area, or more, click more, and then go down to where you see the Twitch link, click there, look for our flight schedule. Worst case scenario, head over to our Discord channel. There's one there too. Love to have you on. We've had a couple of them over here. We sure love you guys when you come over. All right, we're coming up on 7,000, folks. As the Airbus 11 heads over to Stanstead. Well, not yet, but we're over London. There you have it, folks, the Rotate MD-11. Or Airbus 11. As you'll find out, it's very Airbus-ish. A lot of things very similar to an Airbus on it. All right, so decision heights, seat belts, hydraulic panels set. Exterior lights set, takeoffs. Oh, let's get that set. Let's go medium. And flight attendants, take your seats for landing. I know we don't have any, but actually we do. I've been told this load of cargo was going to be very rowdy, so they put some flight attendants on. Spoilers, we're not going to arm them just yet. As we get a little closer to Barkway, we'll slow down to 220. We're going to actually come across Laurel at 6,000 and prepare for the ILS. And auto brakes are set. Flaps will start in here shortly. Altimeter is cross-checked and set. EAD looks good for the moment, as does the FCP front control panel. And let me just take a look. Seeing if this rain is actually showing up on SimAware. Not that VATSIM would be controlling my weather. It's taking, oh, there it goes. Not really, but it could be. So, okay. And see, right now is when I would love to be able to go click, and it'd be up here, down here, whatever, where I could move it. Oh. Alright, so again, hope y'all are having a great start to your week. If you've been over to Discord and seen my interesting comment for Mondays, I highly recommend go for it. If you have not, hang on, what's coming out with Flight Factor has updated. Uh-oh. Wow, a lot of people complaining still about the cockpit in the A320. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look at it here couple of days. But anyway, if you get a chance, head over to Discord. I'll put a link up here shortly with an invite again, and it's just a kind of fun comment that I made. And it goes something like this, because I got just an to click the right one there. Actually, where the heck did it go? Trying to find it if I need it again. Okay, we're over. Anyway, basically, happy Monday. Wait. Is there ever a happy Monday? Another thing to ponder. Like I said, just being a little cute. Coming down to 6. We're going to go ahead, take over speed. Oh, we were at 220. All right. So we're at 220 now. We're going to fly this back around. What basically we're doing is a kind of sort of hold intended. We're just going to come around it and then begin the approach course. me see if I can kind of let you see how this will play out. So we're right here. We're going to fly around, come back this way. Do not get confused this way. That's the missed approach. So we're going to come off Laurel, head right back over Barkway, straight up here. Or is that Busta? I think that might, whatever it is where we'll go. And then out here to these two fixes, and then loop ourselves onto the ILS. Okay? That's the game plan. And we're under the clouds, kinda, sorta. That's kinda cool. So we're at 6,220 knots. Now, when we come off Laurel, right here, right now heading for our chart, and what's our intended decision, or descents? So it's 3,000 to 10 miles east of Parkway, and then we fly that around, descending to 2,500 to come onto the ILS. I have always had troubles finding this airport, folks. Today may be no different. We are about to find out. I am going to go ahead and start us down to 3,000. See if we start on our own. Okay. First notch of flaps coming down. Now we'll go ahead, arm the spoilers, just like we did for takeoff. We're going to be at 3,000. That's a good number. Look, right there's where we'll be at 3,000. All right, here we come. All right, we'll just let her go down. Once we level off, we'll begin slowing to 180. Actually, at Barkway, I'm going down to 200. There's Barkway, and now we're headed out. 10 miles, folks. We hit our first fix. That's the 3,000 mark. Then we start a descent, and I'm going to be pretty close to, I'm so used to it. Sorry, folks. So used to it. I messed that up. V approach is 160, so we'll hold it about this till we get to slow, till we get to this point right here. Then we'll slow to come here. So again, hope you enjoyed. It's been a fun flight in the Airbus 11. I know, MD-11. But I'm glad you came along for the flight, folks. And look forward to seeing you Friday when we fly again. But when we get on the ground, bearing any crash to desktops going to replay, I hope to replay the landing. And while we got a few moments here, folks, let me throw another website at you. My friends at Millennium Aviation, if you're interested in it, I highly recommend them, folks. It's a great place, but always check them out. They may not be what you want, and I'm pretty sure they're okay with that. So check them out. Great place. We've talked about them a little bit on the flight. If you missed it, hey, go to the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. We'd love to have you aboard that family, folks. It's been kind of growing here at a pretty good pace here of late. So, all right. Everything looks good here. Oh, I don't have that on, that's why. And I am just going to get the ILS pulled up here on my side and put this up here. Actually, I'm going to have to do it again. Okay. All right. We're going to slow to 180. Set 2500. Slowing nice and easy. Let's go flaps 10. Here we go.
Stabilizer motion.
Nine 996.
Stabilizer motion.
And 160 now. Nice thing is, folks, it does display your flaps here.
Stabilizer motion.
Gear down. Stanstead traffic, 8 mile final, runway 22, FedEx 6900 heavy. And again, cannot see this booger. Oh, I think I can now. Maybe. No, I do not have runway environment. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Okay, 156. All right, folks, here we go. Still don't see the runway. Now I do.
Autopilot. 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 1000. Autopilot. Autopilot. Autopilot.
Now I should. Hopefully have control of this bird. What I did.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
I disconnected the auto throttles. We're getting back on. All right, stable landing.
200. 100.
Sink rate. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
20. 10.
Hang on a second, folks. Here we go. Still a little trouble getting those reverse thrusters working. Got a feeling we hit a little hard. Alright, flaps up. And again, you do have a flap here and slats. Okay, and disarm. Here we go. Let's taxi in. Performing a few steps as we go. After landing, flaps, spoilers, radar, transponder, radar, off, transponder, exponder. And again, just make sure it says mode C if you're on. So if you land and you come back, just make sure that mode C shows up there. You don't have to be on TARA on the ground, but you do need to make sure you follow the rules and mode C is lit. Real quick, lights. APU coming on. Did I get in the grass? Oh, he missed it by just inches. Just trying to get a lot of things done at once. Anti-ice is off, APU tail fuel quantity checked, and then we're going to the parking checklist momentarily. But anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed. I have not yet peeked at how horrible that landing was. So we'll find out here in the chalks. But here you go, folks. The Rotate Airbus 11, I mean MD-11. It does have its challenges, but a lot of them are overcome pre-flight, pre-takeoff by knowing how to fly an Airbus. Be it 300, 319, 20, 21, even the 330s, you know, kind of help. So, and 340s. So, as well as I'm sure that Mad Dog and Rotate MD or 80s. So, but we're just taxiing to our stand, and I'd like to again thank you for being a part of this. It's been a fun flight across the channel. We'll get all the particulars here in a minute. But you'll find FedEx, I don't know if you would really call it a hub. They've got several flights from the States that come in here, as well as throughout Europe. So, but the big hubs are the Gaulle and Liege. Probably Charles de Gaulle being the bigger one. But who knows? They may do what they did in Hong Kong, where they had a hub there, but then they kind of transitioned up to Guangzhou to get away from all the traffic. Now Guangzhou has a bunch of traffic, but just like UPS left and went to their Hong Kong airport. So just so busy into Hong Kong. Same thing with going into Heathrow. Airlines and cargo guys started going to Stanstead. Airliners using the other two, actually this one too, for airlines. And FedEx opting to go to Charles de Gaulle and Liege. Cologne is another one that sees quite a few. So, all right. So the only reason I know that is compliments of FedEx Express Virtual. The other airline, big one that I fly for. However, not for this flight. This is much better than X-Plane 11 default into Stanstead. I will have to say they did a really good job with it. This is kind of how I expected that cargo apron to look. Now, granted, it extends up to here, too. If you do a Google on it. A Google. Alright, let's come on in. I'm just going to take the first one I come to, well, second one, full. This is 214. Was going to try to get into cockpit real quick, but we'll have to get lined up here. Alright, let me race in here, get that parking brake set. There we go. Everything's reset. Okay. Let's go through it again. Come on. Get over here real quick. Get this one reset. Ding, 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 ding. Alright. Alright, so APU should be on by now. And available. Let's get the air on. Okay, if we can shut her down. See if we can do it this way. Yes. We'll do it exactly the same way. Engine 2, engine 1. All of them off. Alright, and emergency switch, window ice, status check, parking brakes on. Folks, welcome into Stanstead. I know, you guys were a little delayed. I must have woke you up on that landing. Alright, let's get in here. I should have already been filed. Yep, 593. That is actually not a rejectable value. I think it has to get above 700 or 800 before they start thinking about it. So folks, we made it. That's what FedEx Express is saying. As being so new with this new one, I like to verify. And because also they're getting ready to make it mandatory. So I want to make sure I'm not having troubles that they could fix. Or tell me to go check with TFDI, who's behind Smart Cars 3. Alright, Pyreps. Perfect, it's approved. Not approved, but it's pending. Alright, so that's one less item running. Let's get this one not running. And we'll clear off this one. I'm just getting some programs cleared up to help us in case they're hurting us on frame rates. And finally, we do need some toolkit, but I can get rid of charts, or at least this one. All right, so we can get rid of definitely Top Cat. All right, so there you go, folks. We are in. So let's take a look at how we did with Sim Toolkit. Oh, kind of like that number a little better than Mac Air. Here we go, and it logged, so you can't see it yet. Oh, I love when it does that. Actually, I gotta do this. So, FedEx Flight 6900 on the ground, Stanstead, 425 feet a minute. Kind of figured it because I just couldn't get that nose to flare enough before landing. Because we were kind of all over the center line. We're going to see that here in a second. If everything comes together right. So let's click it. View the details. We went 1 hour, 28 minutes in flight. 194 miles covered, 8,000 kilos of fuel, and 425 feet a minute. We woke up the cargo at 1.9 Gs, 145, so we're a little slow as well. So let's view the landing report, though. That's where we learn. And well, at least we got on the runway. I was a little nervous we might land here. I was really trying to get her to climb, and she just won one climb. All right, so we had a 10,000 foot runway to work with. We had actually at the touchdown point 9,700 feet of runway to work with to stop. And we were 19 feet off center line. Not bad, just short, that's all. Because the landing zone, while technically starts here at the threshold where that blue dot is, extends all the way out to this hash mark. Your ideal landing point is these big marks here. This one would be 1,500 or so feet down the runway. Okay, overall 219, ideal was 222, and again we were kind of chasing the center line. Pitch of 9.25, that might actually be okay, but speed was slow. That's probably why I couldn't get her to climb. So all right, so let's get rid of Sim Toolkit. Click the right button there, loose nut. One more look here in the blocks. It's really well done. Kudos to Laminar for Stanstead. I do not have any scenery here, folks. This could see me quite a bit more. Actually, I do want to fly some airline flights out of here. But yeah, right in here is a cargo. This building on the other side of it, as well as this ramp. Then everything else, I think, Ryanair? I forget who all's in here, but they're all here, the low-cost guys. So, all right, let's see what we can do here. I don't think we're gonna get it, folks. Yep. Let's see, it's just spinning. We'll see. We'll give it a chance, but I'm also ready to hit a screen if we lose it. Well, folks, just in case, if I don't say it, thank you again. I know I've said it 100 million times on the flight. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being a part of Flying with Mike. It is always a pleasure to come on and stream, share what little knowledge I know about flying, and learn from you all, mostly. But thank you for giving us your time today, and I hope you all the best of days. I really don't know if we're going to get it or not, so you know what, let's go ahead and just start heading out of here. If it comes up, we'll come back, so I don't want it to just drop on us, because it is trying, but it's also trying to crash the desktop, I think. The replay mode for most airplanes works great. This one gets really kind of squirrely. There's another one that I sometimes have troubles with. So that's a developer issue, not a Laminar issue. So folks, this is a great sim. I really recommend it. This aircraft, it's fun to fly if you like MD-11s. You're going to love this plane. Like I said, you heard my 3 or 4 quirks that I'm not a big fan of in it, but are they deal breakers? No. I'm going to still fly it when I fly it. So, anyway, folks, with all of that, and again, thank you. There it went. Finally crashed the desktop. Let's see. Let me submit the report. Okay. Okay. All right. So we got that taken care of, folks. But again, thank you for being a part of the show. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow, Halloween, be as safe as you can. And we want to see you on Friday. So God bless you all. And I hope you all have a wonderful Halloween for those of you that have it in your countries. Those of you that don't, I'm sorry to hear that. it's a great candy holiday. I don't get into the rest that goes behind the tricking and treating and goblins and ghouls. I'm more with Jesus Christ, so I'll leave it with my verse of the day up here as we say, y'all have a great day. God bless. Be safe. We'll see you Friday. Good night, everyone. God bless.